My name is Suleiman Rafraf, and I will be representing Team 1 in regards to our assignment, Teach the Class. We'll be covering marketing intelligence. It's a marketing intelligence system that we're going to be discussing. And what it is, it can be defined as a set of procedures and sources that managers use to obtain everyday information about the developments in the marketing environment. First and foremost, I should say that to obtain this information, the action that you take must be legal. By being illegal, you can end up, like the company did in the example in the book, with a $1.7 million fine against you. We should move on and say that there are two types of data that you're looking to get. One would be results data, and the other is happenings data. Think of results data as the data that would come back after something like a forum opinion statement by maybe a consumer of yours, going on to a forum and stating their opinion and their experience. This would be after the use of a product, and therefore the results are being given by the consumer. Happenings data is better explained as something that's currently happening. Information that you could actually obtain real time and be able to make some kind of decision in order to better your situation as a company or as a marketing manager. The book again uses a really good example in this case, in which StubHub was currently watching the internet and noticed that some of their clients that had purchased tickets for a rained out Yankees game were very confused and were kind of getting frustrated regarding what it is that they were supposed to do to either get a refund or to reschedule, gather tickets for an upcoming game or of sorts. And so they ended up in a situation where StubHub was able to get online and fix it before it could ever really blow up in their face. And they were capable of doing this because they used happenings data. Happenings data is current and can be utilized to act immediately. According to Kotler and Keller, it's crucial that marketing managers maintain a flow of the most useful data for their cause. This means to try to mix up the type of data that you get. In addition to that, they point out that there's quantity and then there's quality. And this is basically obvious in life. If you have a whole lot of garbage data and the data is bad, well then all you're going to end up doing is making a bunch of bad decisions because the information isn't going to assist you in any way. However, if you have a very, very small amount of quality data, well then by the time you're actually able to use it to try to set up an advantage of some kind, the market environment will have changed already, as it changes dramatically from day to day. So you end up in a situation where the little bit of good data you had is actually of no use to you. So then we move on to the 8 actions that a company or a marketing manager could take in order to get the right mix of data. And the way to do this would be to first of all train and motivate the sales force to spot and report new developments. I'll use my company for example. Wyckoff Ink supplies us with ink. I'm a pressman. Often what happens is the ink that we use will dry up and the cans can bend as you try to get the top off. We give this information to Wyckoff, which then they go back and explain to the company, look, these are the issues that the pressmen are having, and so they've done a couple things to change it. For instance, using plastic instead of metal, where the plastic doesn't bend as easily. In addition to it, they've put certain chemicals in the ink to make sure it doesn't dry so fast or get what's called skin. And so that's a perfect example of training and motivating the sales force to spot and report new developments. Moving on to second would be motivate distributors, retailers, and other intermediaries to pass along important intelligence. This would be something like, I'm a marketer for Crest toothpaste, and I contact Walmart to try to determine what product's selling so much along with my product. What are the consumers purchasing? What are the habits? We tend to find out that it's Listerine that's being purchased along with my Crest toothpaste. Well then I would do what I could to cause Walmart to maybe put the displays up next to each other within maybe the aisle where people walk. In addition to that, I might even combine the two products, excuse me, so that maybe anyone trying to obtain or trying to get like a travel bag of some kind so that they can have the toothpaste and Listerine in one. We bring it together for them. Moving on to the third, hire external experts to collect intelligence. A company can act on this by hiring specialists to gather intelligence, such as sending someone like a mystery shopper into one of your retail stores. One of my team members, Brent, actually told me a story where he used to work at Publix as a child, or roughly when he was 18. And he explained to me that what happened was they would send mystery shoppers in to try to determine the cleanliness of the facilities, the quality of the products, and probably most importantly, the way the employees treated the customer. And by doing this, the public's corporate office was able to gather the intelligence about the way things were working within their retail stores and fix anything so that they could present their image to the best of their ability. Make sure their image was in line with what they were stating they were trying to do for the consumer. Moving on to number 4, we can network internally and externally. This action can basically be seen as a marketing manager doing his or her homework. Think about all the information available to us through the media and how easy it would be to simply go to any retailer and simply purchase your competitor's product. Doesn't seem like it would be that hard to really just go get the product and tear it down and see what are the difference. What are the consumers loving about it? How can I utilize the information I've gained by seeing what their technology is like and then market it back to the public in a much better way with better technology or something that that your competitor is missing. And so this is something that you can do in addition to having trade shows and the like. Moving on to number 5, you can set up a customer advisory panel, which would call, this is actually an amazing idea, and this is amazing because nobody really knows what the customer wants better than the customer themselves. Now imagine a customer having a company having an advisory panel of customers. You wouldn't be able to have every single customer, so it would be obvious that you would need something unique. Would have to be there have to be something unique about the customers that actually make up the panel. For instance, you might have, as the book uses an example of, the most outspoken customer or the most sophisticated, something that gives them a unique trait, so that by having them on your panel, they're really going to give you the feedback that you would perceive as necessary or actually useful in some way. Not just everyday complaints that some people are going to have no matter what happens, but that these people have a real insight into something. In addition to that, by doing this, I should state that this has helped companies change packaging and furthermore even allowed them to change the way the displays are set up within store layouts. Moving on to number 6, take advantage of government-related resources. I actually brought this as an example. This is from my company, PrimeNet Direct Marketing, which utilizes a government resource, the U.S. Census Bureau. And what this allows them to do is build mailing lists. And the gentleman here, his name is George Escobedo. He's not the guy on here, but he's the client that purchases this. And what he does is he sells hearing aids. And his demographic, he looks to get a demographic 60 and above. And he uses our company to gather that information from the U.S. Census Bureau and then give him the best possible target mailing list that he could get. And so he mails out these products and he has a huge return. This is why he comes back month after month. And it is for that reason that government resources can be of a great advantage to your company, in addition to the fact they're either cheap or free. Moving right along to number 7, purchase information from outside research firms. There are companies out there that have a single goal, and all they do is they gather together data. I'm pretty sure that some of us have got a call from Nielsen Media. They've called me regarding the TV shows I've watched within the last week, or even the favorite restaurants that I have, such as Chili's or Applebee's. And they utilize this information to sell to the marketing managers or companies in order for them to get a better perspective on what the environment is, what the atmosphere is like, as far as in the consumer sentiment. And so you're in a position where you're able to use that information to better target an audience and find out what's hot at the moment.